The salt-coated shores of the Reynold Pier in Ochi Rios, St. Anne is seeing more land traffic than sea today, as guests gather at the port for the Beautification ribbon-cutting ceremony. I'm Raquel Robinson. This is Agenda Jamaica. Pleasant viewing.
And on our 50th anniversary, JBM is celebrating this under the theme Navigating New Waters and Sustaining Our Assets. And we chose that because we have a number of assets, and in this climate, we on our new frontier, we are here trying to, well not trying, we are upgrading our assets. And one of our pillars is our Reynolds Pier. And this pier is a multifaceted pier. It has been serving us for 5 decades in serving, as you've heard, for the export of bauxite, transitioned into limestone, and now we have really upped the ante, from that disaster that happened on the 6th of February, for having all of the influx of the cruise vessels. And coming out of that, we thought, what could we do to soften the appeal of this for the visitors that are coming through? And I was like, we have to make this, the first entrance to Jamaica, be one that is inviting and appealing.
I just wanted to really take this opportunity to recognize the Jamaica bauxite mining and their contribution to what we consider to be Ochi Rios on this their 50th anniversary under the theme Navigating New Waters, Sustaining Our Assets. As you know, the Jamaica bauxite mining is a very diversified company. They deal with land management. They're doing a project up in the hills of St. Anne, very significant project. And they're into bauxite mining along with the bauxite companies, and there's a big interlacing of synergies that they do. But today, I think we're looking at the port beautification ribbon cutting ceremony, and I'm really happy that we've reached a milestone. But I just want to do an adjunct to what the Costa said. At some 50 years ago, this port of Ochi Rios was built. I guess it was that port. This was an export port where bauxite. I didn't have any aspirations to work here, Mr. Isaacs, because I was in Kingston as a boy in those days. But the fact is that I always heard that the richer jobs, the better paying jobs, more aspiring individual who want to work for a bauxite company. That was what St. Anne was all about. St. Ochi Rios was just the port of demarcation, if you want to put it that way. Now we have grown beyond that. We're now a port, and we're a port. We have laced bauxite mining and sugar export along with tourism. And how do we mesh both industries? Today we're seeing that's how critical this port is. Because with the accident over there, if the resilient wasn't here at Jamaica bauxite mining, Ochi Rios be sucking some serious salt right now. As a matter of fact, I think we have arranged where what's happening in Falmouth comes back to Ochi Rios, but it's still not manifesting itself. The economy of Ochi Rios is suffering right now. You talk to the vendors, you talk to the business people and so on, they're suffering because of what's happening at that port. Because although we haven't lost any ships as such nationally, Ochi Rios have lost pretty much about 60-70% of its throughput of ships coming to this port, because this particular port is the only game in town now. So I am here today to thank you for being here for 50 years and encouraging the Jamaica bauxite mining and the government of the day to really move it forward and see how we can, beyond the facade of what iPrint did, and they did a fantastic job. But let us look at a whole new pier right here at Reynolds, Madam Chairman, Jamaica Bauxite Mining.
The completion of this beautification project by JBM, as you've heard, coincides with the company's celebration of a significant milestone of its own. February 13, 2025 marked 50 years of JBM's existence. The transformation of Reynolds Pier therefore represents more than just an upgrade of the physical assets under JBM's management. It symbolizes our evolution as a company, our commitment to sustainable development, and our vision for the future. For the past 50 years, our organization has played a critical role in Jamaica's economic development, particularly in the mining sector. Today, as we embrace a broader mandate that includes port and commercial property management and custodianship, we reaffirm our commitment to responsible and forward-thinking stewardship of the nation's assets. This port has long served as a gateway for commerce, facilitating the export of Jamaica's rich resources. Now, with its revitalization and rebranding, it welcomes a new era, one of tourism, economic diversification, and community enrichment. This shift aligns with JBM's dedication to ESG principles, ensuring that our operations create value not just for our stakeholders, but for the people and communities we serve. As we celebrate this new chapter, on behalf of the board of JBM, I extend my gratitude to our partners, including the Port Authority of Jamaica, the government of Jamaica broadly, the dedicated team at JBM, and the local businesses and communities that have supported and contributed to this transformation, not least of them being iPrint Digital. The future is bright, and together we will continue to shape a legacy of growth, sustainability, and prosperity. Welcome to the new Reynolds Pier, a beacon of opportunity for Jamaica and the world.
50 years ago, Ann Keeley Issa, she was my grandfather's sister. She and a group of women in St. Ann, included Mrs. Whitehorn, for those who might remember her, Custis Walters, but they were a group of young, bright women ahead of their time, and she became the first woman of the Chamber of Commerce, which was unheard of back in the 70s. But for years they considered her crazy because she was lobbying for Ochi to have a cruise ship port. And she fought and fought and fought, and in 1978 she convinced the UDC to invest $1 million, and now we have cruise shipping in Ochi Rios. So it was interesting to see Miss Anna Harry as chairman of Jamaica Bauxite Mining Limited. But they really should say chairlady or chairwoman on the schedule. So you have a new fight, and you have the president of the Chamber of Commerce here to help. You have the mayor who is on board and the minister who is on board. They have a plan and a hope to have 6 cruise ship berths in Ochi Rios. That berth would accommodate 2, this one, and their plans for 2 over there. So if we can achieve that 50 years later, it would be a hell of a milestone. So we're charging you to work with these gentlemen and make it a reality much the same way Ann Keeley did 50 years ago. On that note, welcome and congratulations.
This enhancement will elevate the first impressions for all visitors entering through this port, showcasing Jamaica's commitment to excellence from the moment they set foot on our island. Beyond aesthetics, this development strengthens the overall tourism ecosystem of the North Coast, creating ripple effects of economic opportunity for local communities, businesses, and service providers throughout the region. As partners in Jamaica development, the Jamaica Tourist Board stands ready to collaborate with JBM to promote this revitalized port as part of our destination marketing efforts. The JTB recognizes the vital role that infrastructure development plays in our overall tourism product. This beautification project demonstrates how thoughtful investment can simultaneously serve industrial needs while enhancing the aesthetic appeal that visitors expect from our island paradise. Congratulations once again to the entire JBM team on this beautiful enhancement to Reynolds Pier and your visionary plans for expansion. Your commitment to excellence not only elevates Jamaica's infrastructure, but also strengthens our position as a premier destination in the Caribbean.
In January and February of 2023, Ochi Rios welcomed 125,200 cruise passengers. For the same period last year, we welcomed 113,149 passengers. This year, for January and February, we welcomed 91,657 passengers. These figures show that despite the absence of our primary port, Reynolds was able to keep Ochi Rios' cruise arrivals at just 20,000 passengers, short of what we would have achieved with both ports operational.
JBM has been a pivotal force in the mining industry, and through this initiative, we have ensured that our natural resources continue to be leveraged in ways that support sustainable development. At the same time, the port serves as a vital point for the export of bulk agricultural goods, including sugar, which is notably a great contributor to Jamaica's economy. By enhancing the pier's capacity and aesthetic, we are not only improving the tourist experience, but also bolstering the export potential of both our agriculture and mineral resources.
I've taken note of the beautiful signage and the approach taken by the Tourism Ministry, and I want to thank Minister Bartlett in his absence. I'd ask Joy if you could just convey that thanks. But we're going to ask JBM and indeed the Ministry of Tourism for two more particular elements. Firstly, behind me, we expect commercially positive, culturally relevant signage on your fuel tanks so that the thousands of Jamaicans and tourists alike that visit Ochi Rios Bay will have a better view of the fuel tanks. Now, I mention commercially relevant because murals and signage, Mr. Steele, don't pay for themselves. But certainly we know we have a captive audience of thousands of beachgoers every single day that will benefit from a more aesthetically pleasing space. And I know there is already great agreement, Ms. Howe, correct? Okay, that is sign one. So we're agreed. When I get everybody here, and I'm not wasting the opportunity, you know. So, Madam Chair, we're agreed. The second sign is on the back of a particular principle. This is beauty. We're blessed. Very blessed in this country. But the true blessing is the real attraction of Ochi Rios, and that is our people. And for the development plans, and I know conversations are underway with the UDC, with Port Authority, with JBM around the use of these facilities. But the planning has to put at its center the appropriate spaces for our transport operators, being our Juta and Maxi drivers, because they are the true brand ambassadors that you see first. And certainly for the second set of ambassadors, who probably have longer conversations with your tourists, which are your craft vendors. And I pause to acknowledge the Ochi Rios Craft Council and their members that are represented here. We're going to need some space that allows them to operate in closer proximity to our tourists. And I am sure we're agreed in that regard. But as Joy would have said, the fallout has hurt Ochi Rios disproportionately. We don't need to wait till next year for that one. So, Ms. Donna, we need to finalize, and Madam Chair, we need to finalize very soon so that I can peacefully walk in Ochi Rios and a place called Pineapple and Duns River and Old Craft Market. It's very important. Very, very important. But that second piece of signage is directly across from the exit. We would like JBM to put in signage that directs our visitors to some of our indigenous businesses, not least of all our craft markets and of course our retailers in St. Ann. So I look forward to working with you on that so that there is always inclusive growth. Ochi Rios, the Draxall corridor, the economics of St. Ann are strong. The future is bright and green. But we will not leave our people behind, and we look forward to working with you on that, and we thank JBM for their investment this morning.
This is more than a port. It is a greeting, a promise, a bridge between movement and memory, where function and elegance entwine, where Jamaica's soul stands proudly adorned. Welcome to the new Reynold Pier, where grace meets grandeur.
As we move forward as a nation, environmental concerns are something the Jamaican government is factoring into local projects, and the Reynold Pier Beautification is no different. Managing Director of the Jamaica Bauxite Mining Limited, Donna Marie Henry, explains the importance of the inclusion of environmental conscious decisions and projects under this umbrella.
We're going to be using renewable energies on the port. Here we've just issued a request for proposal to go out so that our energy consumption will all be from renewable sources. 84% of that will be utilised from what the usage here, which is a good thing. So what that will mean is that Reynold Pier will be, like the footprint of us, will be remarkably reduced, and that's good on the international platform.
As we take into consideration our impacts on the environment, we also take into consideration the environment's impact on our lives and livelihoods.
It has had its ripple effect across the entire economy of Ochi Rios. I mean, there are a lot of businesses would normally be generated, the cafes, the bars, the restaurants, the attractions, the craft vendors, the drivers. It ripples across the entire, and there's a multiplier effect across the entire country, supermarkets, and so it has its significant benefit. The fact that some of the ships that got rerouted to Falmouth says that even though they may come back to go to Duns River and so on, there's such a rush to get them back and forth that there's some, if you want to say, something gets dropped along the itinerary. So yes, it has had this effect, and it's been significant. The economy of Ochi Rios is, I would say, down at this juncture because of that. But next year, we anticipate that when this new pier comes on stream in July, people will start feeling the effects of it immediately, and things will start going back up.
Initially, there was a big fallout, but as the cruise lines got to learn more about the Reynold port and sent their divers down, sent their captains down, they recognized that they could actually come here. So they've been coming here, and for the first 2 months of this year, we've only lost 20% of the business that we had in 2000 prior to the port being damaged. So what that means for us is that we have an additional option for ships to come to, or additional ships could come to Ochi Rios because of what has happened here at the Reynolds.
To readdress the concerns created by the recent natural disaster, in addition to a large percentage of the island's revenue coming from tourism, thoughts with regards to tourists were taken into consideration in the revamping of the port.
As you know, this is right now the only pier in the well, this side of St. Anne, with the destruction last year of the original pier. So the Reynold Pier has had to double up. And it has done a fantastic job in doubling up. We haven't lost much in terms of coverage. Ships coming to St. Anne and of course Ochi Rios. As it stands right now, with the beautification and an enhancement to the Reynold Pier, we're ready for business. These QR codes are particularly interested to me because it's now the way to see what is going on. That's by shining your phone onto the QR code and tells you walk on. And I think that's a great initiative, as simple as it may be, because what it does, it gives the tourists a perspective as to what's going on in and around Ochi Rios and surrounding areas. Tourism and cruise shipping is a major part of the industry, a major part of the economy, a major part of what and who we are as a people in Ochi Rios. Ochi Rios grew as a result of cruise shipping, and it will continue to be such.
This is a great part of our economic activity. As you know, tourism is one of our main contributors to the economic development right here in Jamaica, and Ochi Rios play a very important role in terms of the product, and therefore I think this exercise that we are celebrating this morning is a clear indication that we are serious about making sure we improve on the quality of the product that we offer to persons who want to visit Jamaica.
One of our mandates is to market to the cruise industry, especially the travel agents, and also to the passengers. And we've found over the years that people know specific areas. They go on the internet and they know, well, there's Dunn's River, but they don't know some of the other things that we offer here. So it was important for us to choose images that showed the other things that are present in and around the Ochi Rios port.
Of course, Jamaica Tourist Board is mandated to market the destination so that we remain the premier tourist destination in the Caribbean. And so when there was disruption at the pier, the cruise shipping pier, and persons had to be relocated, the cruise ships had to be relocated here, the aesthetics wasn't that pleasing